University's Ramniranjan Jhunjhunwla College and the Department of Biotechnology welcomes one and all today for this induction program. We have with us today Ms. Fatima Islahi, okay, who has been a student, who was our alumni, and she'll be talking about career guidance with you all. She'll be sharing her experience and also giving you an insight about what are the different career options, okay, when you are a biotech student. What do you look forward to? So I would formally like Jaswinder Kaur ma'am to introduce Fatima and begin with our today's session. Jaswinder ma'am.
Thank you, HOD madam. Good morning, students. Good morning, Fatma. I am
Good
honored to
morning.
introduce today's speaker, someone who is so close to my heart, Miss Fatma Islahi. She's a postgraduate in biotechnology from our very own college, the Department of Biotechnology, and has also earned a diploma in clinical studies and data management from the same. Now she's at the position of scientific officer in oncogenomics department in positive biosciences, a free evolving spirit at heart and a true seeker of knowledge. She is a true example of RGBT alumni. I am overwhelmed to have you introduced to our students, Fatma. Now the stage is yours to pave the way for them.
Thank you so much, Krishna ma'am and Jesse. This was like kindest word I've heard from you. So, hello everyone over here. This is me, Fatma Islahi, and I'm going to help you and walk through what are the career paths after you take or you choose to be in the field of biotech. So, let's begin. So first, what exactly, like you are newbies into biotech. You have just, I think, taken biotech, just cleared your 12th, and you have like little knowledge of what biotech is. So I'm going to brief you what are the further bifurcation in biotechnology. So there are four major junctions. So here it is red biotech, which is basically related to medical biotech. So there comes a lot of things, be it manufacturing, research, everything is related to medical industry. Next is we have green biotech. That is also a big blooming field. Lot of research companies have come up in there. So and lot of PhDs are also being held in that field. So in agricultural or green biotech, we study about different plants, how we can grow them better and in a sustainable environment. So that is what it is in green biotech. Then we have blue biotech, which is rarely talked of. So this is basically related to marine or aquatic life. So here people study different enzymes, protein, and different organisms. So this is like a combined field of zoo and marine. So here we basically look forward for enzymes and proteins which are present in these marine animals and which are going to be beneficial for some life-saving purposes or some environmental reasons like oil spills or something. We are looking for proteins basically. And there is last white biotechnology or industrial biotechnology. So this is purely industrial process, and but here what unique is we use various biotechnological application that we study throughout the years. So basically these years you are going to study different kind of fermenters, how proteins, different proteins are grown in at industrial level. So how it is done, that is what white biotech is all about. So this is a rough diagram. Okay. uh, you basically perceive BSc in biotech. Then, after completing your BSc, you will be having an opportunity to either do an MSc or take up a job as per your life situation. Then, after you, if you take up a job, basically you will grow into it. And uh, otherwise, if you have taken an MSc in biotech, so after that, once you have completed your MSc in biotech, then you will be having again two pathway ahead of you. Either you crack your PhD entrance exams and you take up a PhD, or you take up a job. Again, depends on your life situation where you are. And after your PhD, then you can do postdoc and be into research, or take up a job as per your convenience. And this is like a rough diagram, okay, from my personal experience and from what I've seen from my batchmates, basically. So this is not how life goes. So if you have all, taken a job after BSc and you want to go ahead and take an MSc after that, that is also not, out of way. You can do it. If you have taken a job and later you want to do a PhD, that also can be done. So this is just a rough schematic diagram of what it is going to be. So it's all about what decision you make. If I'm going too fast, please stop me, okay? So, like, you have completed 3 years of your BSc, and after that, you may be looking for a job. So, what are the job opportunities that you will have after BSc? Okay. So there are many job opportunities. I have selected a few which are related to the field and which most people after doing biotech prefer. So first is being a lab assistant. Okay, so being a lab assistant is like a cool thing, but basically what you have to do is you have to look after a lab. So it really depends on what kind of lab you are into. So if you are into cancer lab or some other kind of IVF lab or whatever it is, or some college research lab, so that depends on that what kind of exposure you are going to get. Next is teaching. So this is a beautiful field, and after BSc you can take up teaching, and if you want to do MSc and if you want to teach also, like in classes or in some small institutes, so you can, if you can manage time very well, you can do both together. But if you want to totally be absorbed in teaching, that can also be done. Next is clinical research. This field is like the blooming in its peak blooming era, I would say. Okay, so after doing your BSc, there are a lot many job opportunities where you can be absorbed, and where they are looking for people who has expertise with related to science and clinical research process. So if you are well versed in clinical research process, you are well versed with what are the ethical complexity involved in enrolling patients. So I think you guys have you guys will learn that slowly. So all those things, if you get along well, so you can be a part of this for your job. Okay, so this is an elaborated version of what I just said with respect to lab assistant. So you can be a professor, lecturer, or teacher, and you have to like be like how you maintain something, that is how be your house or your own, own studies or something. If you're very well at managing things, when if you have run out of supplies and all those stuff, you have to maintain for other people in the lab. So that will be your basic job, to keep materials ready so that the work doesn't get hampered. So where you can apply for such kind of job is in government and private labs, both offer this. So there is Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education. So that is a government organization where you can apply and get through. Then eligibility criteria varies. Uh, Here also some people prefer MSc people. So it depends where you are applying also. So, and if you are good with calibration, handling instruments, and all those stuff, so you are likely to get this job. Next is teaching. As I said, like you can opt for private educational centers, like who help prepare younger students for science and other board examinations. So there you can earn well. earlier there were a lot of things going on for classes and everything. I think due to pandemic, everything has been shifted online. So you can, join some of the classes, or you can take your own bunch of students and start teaching as well. So, and then there is a different set of teachers which are required for teaching in schools. So some teachers, what they do is they do BSc, and then after that you have to complete your B.Ed qualification to teach in schools. Like there are big schools like international schools which are ICSC board certified. So they need people who are good with science, because the ICSC syllabus is quite huge and very in depth. So they need experts from the field to come and teach them. So there are some colleges which offer BSc, B.Ed integrated courses, but I, you guys are already here, so let's just see what all fields are there, and then you can decide. Then for teaching in colleges, basically you will need an MSc degree, and after that you have to crack your NET qualification also. And after BSc, then as I said, you can join clinical research, and there are a lot many job opportunities in clinical research. Like I can't even put it in a slide. So in clinical research is like you're recruiting healthy volunteers and patients in research, human beings into research. So that is where you need a lot of expertise from science people. So yeah, we need people from biotech. So if you have MSc or diploma in clinical research, it may be beneficial, but from my practical knowledge, I don't think so. It is really important. You just need to be passionate about what you're doing. That is much more important. So there are organizations like IQVIA and government institute like Tata Memorial Hospital, which is a cancer related hospital. So there are a lot of clinical studies going on in that field also. Okay. So like that was all about the jobs that you can take up. As I said, after BSc, there are two ways. Either you can take up a job, or you want to continue studying something. So what you are going to study? So you are basically going to do a postgraduate. Postgraduate is nothing but doing a master's in some specific field. So you can stick to your biotech. Biotech is a broad field, so you will be studying different aspects of biotechnology in spread over 4 semesters. Then you have clinical research. You can do clinical research MSc. I think that is available in Tata's. Then you can do MBA in biotech. As I said, there is a wide biotech, and as biotech organizations, there is a lot of research and everything. So there are a lot of products which we have come up in biotech field. So and larger pharma companies and biotech companies, they are making these products. Sorry. So we need people who can go ahead in the market and help us sell those products. So who better than biotech themselves? So that is why we have biotech MBA. Then these are little off the topic, I would say, but uh, yeah, these are fields which are still here and which are very important. First is related to wildlife, then is marine biotechnology and industrial biotechnology. Wildlife, after doing your BSc in biotech, you can do wildlife, masters in wildlife. So people who are very enthusiastic for with related to nature and environment, and who have no restraints, to go out and study in the forest. So please go ahead and opt for it. I think they are going to love it. And then people who love underwater life, they can go ahead and do marine biotechnology. So as I said earlier, so you have to go and study uh, different species that are living underwater. You have to study what kind of proteins they express, what is the genes they are having, and how they are going to these data is going to be helpful for us. Then we have MSc in Industrial Biotech. So as you all must have heard, like during pandemic, we have come up with so many vaccines, so many billion doses are being made. So how is it being made? So there are experts who have studied industrial, biotech, and they assist in all this process. And there are managers and all those people who are, continuously monitoring these processes. So who does that? So there are people who have masters in industrial biotech and who closely monitor all this process. Then we have, as I said, biotech. So biotech may masters if you are doing, and so what do you expect and how do you get through it? So if you want to take up anywhere in Mumbai, so you have to get good marks in your graduation certificate. I think that is the average of all the semesters. So you have to be good in all your semesters. And also, if you have like after studying for 3 years, basically you will get an idea whether you really like being in biotech, or it's just, you did it because life threw at you. So please have a, bigger perspective and keep analyzing yourself, like you really want to be in this field or no. Because the thing is, I have known people who have done BSc in biotech, but they have taken career option other than biotech or other than science completely. So that is also fine. So give yourself time and make a decision today, tomorrow, or years later. Someday you will realize that what really you want to do in life, and the earlier you realize that, better it is for you. So even if you want to uh, take up biotech, so what all preparation you need to do is, you have to prepare for your gate exam if you are looking for a good institute or university anywhere in India. And then if you are looking, some people offer going abroad for studying masters in biotech. That also is a feasible idea, because there's during pandemic there's a lot of trend that people are opting out, going out and studying. So I think that is also in uprise trend, so you can opt for that. And there are a lot many universities and institute that they are offering good kind of masters in biotech and good exposure to industrial sites also. So you can do that. So as I said, it is a big huge field, biotech. We study immunology, genomics, plant, animal, everything basically. So even if you have not cleared till doing your BSc, like what is your field of life, so you can give yourself another 2 years to biotech and identify like what out of these subjects, what exactly in biotech you like. Because you cannot be doing biotech after biotech. You have to finally come to a field which you want to build your career in. So this will help you decide that. Next is clinical research. Clinical research, the crux of CR is to ensure drugs reaches the target patient from lab via animals. So these human studies involve lot of ethical sensitization. So there is like, if you are enrolling a patient basically in a clinical study, which the drug has not been given earlier to any human being on earth. So you need to inform the person in such a way that you need not scare the person, but at the same time you make them aware of all the situation. So that is all. If you are very good at communication, and if you are very well versed with the ethical steps that are required in science, so if that you can choose up. And I think after doing 3 years of BSc, you will come across what exactly clinical research is. And this is, I would say, go to job opportunities, because if you have an MSc in clinical research, you get a good job. And you can get this kind of MSc, you can complete it in Tata's. So they have There are institutes and they offer. So you have to just apply in time, and if you have a good score, you will get through it. Then is MBA in biotech. So MBA in biotech, generally I have seen very less people opting for it, but yeah, it is there. And when there are managers and executive and marketing people are required. So in that case, we need MBA people basically. So here in this course, people are going to learn about the basic concept of how to go ahead and sell a product and how to build up your own market. So you are not going to go and stand on the market and sell it basically. So you need to first understand what will be your key buyers and all those stuff. So if you are very good, if you like have a click for selling products and you like biotech as well, I think you can do that. So here in Mumbai, DY Patil is there. It is a private deemed university, so you can opt there. It is little costly compared to other masters. So yeah, but if you're pretty well in finances, you can opt for that. Then as I said, like these are off the topic options. These rarely people offer this, but yeah, there are this them masters in wildlife. So if you have a love for animals and you have no restriction from your family and that you can go ahead and stay in a forest, so basically you can do this. So there are institutes such as Wildlife Institute of India and quite a few in the south as well, I think, where you can go ahead and do masters in wildlife. So basically you have to understand their habitat and everything. So you need to have well versed technical knowledge of doing various lab testing, as well as you have to go be on the field and study the animal also. So you need to be both. So in this PPT, I've provided various links also with respect to the specific masters or whatever I'm talking about. So whenever you get it, please go through those links. I think it will be helpful for you all. Then we have marine biotech. Marine biotech is also a beautiful field. I mean, here you use all the knowledge of your biotech that you have learned in 3 years and explore different kind of organisms uh, that lives in our seas and oceans. So we have got lot of coastal region, be it Mumbai, Goa, or any of the south region, or even in the east side. So there are a lot many institute which are giving this opportunity to people, and they have different aspect of criteria for taking students. So every university or every institute has a different what you say eligibility criteria. Some have you might have to give some exam, or some you might have to score certain marks to get through it, because very limited seats are there for this. Then we have industrial biotech. Industrial biotech, currently no one in India offer industrial biotech. But yeah, if you have an opportunity to go and study abroad, you can definitely do it. And there is like institute like Newcastle and like there are many others in UK also, which offer on the ground exposure to while you are doing your MSc with them. And I think you can even request for if you are very good with your studies, if you can complete the same syllabus in 1 year or so, and with your exposure and everything, so they can hand over your degree even within a year. So that flexibility has come up due to pandemic. So because but this is a good field, like if you really love big instrument and you are very well with working in industrial environment. I think guys will enjoy doing industrial biotech work. So if you like this kind of work, because there'll be less of computer and sitting in your cubicle and working, it will be mostly a 40-hour shift in a go, and you have to be on the ground and working. So this is industrial biotech. Next, this is a slide I specially put up here. So this is like after BSc you have done. Uh, there is this thing that I've recently come up with. There is need of epidemiological studies. Okay. So what basically is epidemiology? It is a discipline for understanding and improving global health. So on your left, if you can see, I've put up a screenshot from WHO. So in 2015, they held a conference in that they were assessing via their research programs which are the variants which are likely to go ahead in future as a full blown pandemic or infectious diseases with large number of people. So if you can see, I have highlighted that they in 2015 itself, WHO had highlighted that there is going to be a highly pathogenic emerging coronavirus, and by 2019 we had it. So there is a need, and there will be a need for people who study a lot of data with respect to patients and population data, and who help and come up with such predictions to institute like WHO and government bodies in India as well, because there are institutes who study population data and trends of what disease is coming up during rains, what disease is going to be up there. So in India, there are currently no institute which offer any kind of course in this. But yeah, in abroad, there are institute which help you study epidemiology and how to assess it and what are the biostatistics involved in this. So in if you do this, what basically you'll be doing is you will be visiting a lot many health centers, and then you will be collecting their data, and then you will be alerting them beforehand when you suspect like some infectious disease is coming up or trending in that region or in that hospital. So you will be basically dealing with all medical facilities and helping them prevent one of pandemics. Then you have fellow you have done some MSc, and then after that what you want to do. So you have done your masters. Now you will be either looking for research or a job depending on your life scenario. So for PhD, like funding really plays a crucial role, and then there are for that you have to give a lot of entrance exams, and here there are certain list of it. This is quite an old list. There are, if you'll go on Biotechnica, you'll find latest list also. Then you can continue if you have enrolled yourself in MSc PhD programs there, or you can do an MPhil and a PhD, whichever is feasible around you and whichever you get through it. If you are very enthusiastic for cancer field, then you can definitely apply at ATRAC. So this is like Tata's research institute where you study all about cancer. So they have their own entrance exam where you can crack, and they give quite a good stipend also, and research is also nice. So if you really want to be something in cancer field, you can try here. Then if not cancer, you can by the end of a masters, you will get an idea what really you want, and I think that will help you to decide in which field you want to do PhD. So there is PhD option available in Mumbai University also. So but there are different projects that will be going on. So if you clear your entrance exam, so you can look for those opportunities as well. Then you can do PhD in reproductive health at NIRRH, that is in Parel. So you can get through, or go through their website, what is their inclusion criteria, and then you can apply for PhD at TIFR. Then, if not here, there is lot many opportunities for biotech people abroad. So but every country and every university will have their own eligibility criteria, and they are more particular than what it is in India. So you need to be very clear and very precise as to what kind of PhD you want to do if you want to apply abroad. Then after MSc, if you want to take up a job, so what kind of job? So basically, I told clinical research is the booming thing right now. So you can, and it will be, I feel, as where the trend is going, because there are a lot many people who big MNCs which are coming to India for clinical research and data management. So here, I think you will, for next 5 to 10 years, you can see an uptrend here also. So you can opt for job, and if you have a master in clinical research, so that is like a win-win kind of situation. You will definitely get a better pay package and a good job basically. You can work as a JRF. You won't be enrolled in a PhD if you don't have if you don't have come up from the right channel, like giving your PhD exam and everything. But yeah, you will be like a research person. You will get your paper published and you will be paid for it. So you can work as a scientific officer. Yeah, after doing your MSc, you can be a scientific officer in government institutes like BRC. They have little small openings for bio people. So rest of it is mainly involving chemical and other physical fields. And here, but yeah, you can apply over here. Work for scientific publications. So as you all can see, there are so many people who are doing research. So there is a need of organization which help people to gather their literature and to assign or align them properly, formatting and everything. So Cactus is one of such an institute. There are many others also. Then you can work for clinical diagnostic organization like Metropolis, and in Mumbai there are many. Metropolis is good. Then there is SRL. So you can work for diagnostics. Then you can work for biotech oriented organizations. So there are lot many organizations which you know like there are jobs which are like hidden. So in that, for that you have to literally look for yourself. But yeah, you will get through somewhere. So you can, if you are not into very research and you don't like lab work or anything, but you are very good at selling products, and you have fetched till your MSc and you have realized that now, so you can offer your some marketing and sales in some scientific field, like basically in pharma and everything. Then you can teach in educational institute, have your own bio startup. Okay, you can work as a patent officer. For that also you have to crack an exam, then only you will be able to do that. And this is just a listed set of things which I could figure out by myself, and there will be lot many things which you can do, and which like after 5 years which will be available for you all. And I think there will be a lot many things which are going to come up for biotech people. So yeah, keep a heads up. If you are really interested in biotech, then you will get through it somewhere better. Like after your, now you have enrolled yourself in PhD. Okay, you have not taken up a job, so what you will be doing after a PhD? So the job or the research title that is given after you have complete your PhD is postdoc. So after doing the postdoc thing, basically people do is they establish their own labs, and they be the PI, like principal investigator, and then you take up other fellows, people who are from BSc and MSc, and you do research in your lab. So you have to be very good with managing things, and by that time you will be, there'll be a lot of fellowships and a lot of money that will be coming up for research. So you have to very well manage everything. You have to help and guide other people after doing that PhD thing. So you can work as a scientist for pharma companies. Some people, they prefer being into research for so long, they opt for teaching after doing their PhD. So it really depends on what you want to do. So these are the options that you can opt for. Okay. So ma'am had asked me to give little gist about myself, what kind of work I'm doing. So it's little complex. So I wanted to tell everyone some basics of oncology. Oncology is nothing but study of cancer. So in short, if you can see in that diagram, we have two kind of genes, okay, in our bodies. One is proto-oncogene and one is tumor suppressor genes. So understanding cancer is, if either of the gene gets mutated, you are likely to get cancer. But what happens is, if a proto-oncogenes get a mutation, which activates the gene or activates the protein, then it is likely to be cancer. And if a tumor suppressor gets a mutation which is deleterious, means it is not letting the protein or the gene function properly, like as its name suggests, it has to suppress the cancer. So if it is not able to do its function, then there will be tumors in your body and you are likely to get cancer. So this is like basic understanding for what I'm going to tell next. Okay. So I work as a scientific officer in cancer genomics field. So what I do is a completely dry lab work. I don't go into lab or do any lab techniques like sequencing or other things, because they're designated team. They do sequencing and everything, and they give us the raw data. They give me, like my team, the raw data, and then we have a bioinformatician. The person, he processes data using various bioinformatic tools. They have like a proper pipeline, and but they need human intelligence because pipelines are filled of lot many tools, but those tools have their own limitations. So they need, like, we have an multidisciplinary team. So they are like people from bioinformatics, a genetic counselor, and a lot many people from various fields of science. So we what we do is, when the data has been processed, the raw data, the tools will analyze and they will give us, sheet full of excels, like 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 list of mutation a person has. So what our job is, we have to, identify what mutation must have triggered cancer in person A, person B, person C, and so on. And we have to assign therapy based on what kind of mutation they have got and what is their age and other factors, what therapy so far they have received, so, and what are the other status of other genes. So here I've given up a scenario. Here, if I have a patient, I have two patients basically here. One patient has lung cancer, other also has lung cancer. If the patient has to be treated in normal circumstances, the doctor will definitely, the oncologist will treat them with the same chemotherapeutic drugs that the guidelines or which are going on. But what happens in such scenario is, if chemotherapy has a lot of side effects, and sometimes the patients that come to us generally from India, they have already completed all their chemo cycles. They have, nothing is benefiting them. They have already generally progressed to stage 4 or stage 3 cancer. So in such scenario, what happens is like we have to give them an option as to what they really don't want to put up their money or their health at more at risk, and to take some drugs which they don't know whether it is going to work for them or no. So what we do is we take that tumor tissue FFP samples, then we give it to the lab, and the lab teams then sequence it, and then they give us the data. Then we analyze the data and we find that one of the gene that is mutated in that patient is a proto-oncogene KRAS. And that works, the KRAS gene, the protein KRAS, it works on the cell surface. So the person who will be analyzing or talking to the doctor, then we are going to inform the doctor that, see, this is the gene that is mutated, so we need to give a therapy which is more likely to be affecting the cell surface protein only. So generally that is a monoclonal antibody or some proteins or some any kind of therapy which is working on the cell surface only and not otherwise, because other component of that tumor is proper, they are like the normal cells of the body, so we don't want to harm the normal protein or normal cell. We just want to target what is the weakest point of that tumor, and we just want to get rid of it. So patient likely to get benefited from this, and there are going to be lesser of side effects. So, and for patient B, he also has lung cancer, but the protein that is mutated in his case is a tumor suppressor gene instead of a proto-oncogene. So that protein is mutated in the cytoplasm, not on the cell surface. So we need a therapy which is going to cross the cell membrane and go inside the cytoplasm. So we need small molecule inhibitors, which are so small that they can cross the plasma membrane. So therefore we give accordingly the therapy which is depending on the mutations that we find on the patient. So that is what my job is. So we help doctors and patients which are like at the dead end of the therapy. So we help them with the therapeutic options. If the drug is not approved, we even help them to get through the clinical trial, enroll what are the trials available in India or abroad, and help them to get some kind of therapy. So yeah, I think this is the end of it.
Thank you, Fatima. Students, I am expecting few questions from you all because this was probably the first career guidance lecture for you all, so as to decide what you could do after your graduation or maybe post graduation. So I think Fatima would be more than happy to answer your questions. So in
Definitely.
case if you have any, please put them in the chat box, or you all can even unmute and speak. No questions? I think all of them are sleeping, Fatima. They're not used to getting up that early. Na? Pura 12th standard, they have been taking it easy. They have not even given their exams. So they are in that mood, I think, still in that
I
hibernation
I hope they have
zone.
studied and cleared their 12th, not
No, there
otherwise.
was no exams for these students. No,
Yeah, I know that was the saddest
yeah,
part.
yeah. There is a question. Somebody's got up after BSc. One second. There is no job opportunity. Are you telling or are you asking? Yeah, Bhagyashree, are you asking a question or are you telling us? Okay, she's put a question mark.
There is. The
In
lot.
fact,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. Go, carry on.
Uh, like many people from our batch, they took a job after BSc. So they like only Very few went ahead and opted for MSc. Majority went for jobs. So there is job opportunity because otherwise they wouldn't be getting jobs.
And now currently with this pandemic situation, all the more jobs are available. There are a lot of opportunities which are coming in the way for the way of biotech students. In fact, the students, our own students, have got their job before getting a degree in their hand. Okay, so our TY students currently and the earlier batch were already employed with various labs. Okay, so they had a job in their hand before they even passed their TY. So we cannot say that there are no opportunities. Opportunities are plenty, provided you grab them and you take them. Would you like to tell about bioinformatic field?
Like with respect to what you want to know, like is there job opportunities over there, or what exactly bioinformatics is?
Tanvi, could you elaborate on your question? Do you want to know about job opportunities with respect to bioinformatics, or what is bioinformatics? Job opportunity.
Okay, so the, the biggest plus for getting a bioinformatics field, getting a job in bioinformatics field is like you can work on endless project in a day. Okay, so whatever, it depends on you how well versed you are with your bioinformatics techniques and tools and everything. If you're good, you can work in multiple projects at a given time. So you'll be employed in, suppose if you're employed in a field, like in an organization, and you get a project. So after, if you complete your bioinformatics thing in like 2-3 hours, whatever your organization work has been there, and after that you can dedicate your time to some project which is going to even get you more money. So you are already employed with the company, and you can also get yourself acquainted with various project or some other company which is like part time. So from my point of view, bioinformatics field is like blooming, and there are a lot of job opportunities coming, and it is more of a remote work. So not only in India, you can apply for abroad also, being in India. So you have to just work according to their timelines, and you have to give them whatever they are expecting. So that is how bioinformatics works.
Around 80 to 90% of our students get jobs. Okay, now this is upon the choice of the student. So if there is job and the student don't want to take it, we cannot count them in that percentage. Okay, so it depends upon the students who want the job do get job. Okay, there are few students who go further with their academics. There are few students who probably just carry on with their life. They look out for a good match and they get married. Okay, so it is according to the preference, but the students who apply for job do get a job. Okay, so every year almost 80 to 90% of our students do get a job, those who apply for it. There are a lot of opportunities, so there is no dearth of jobs. uh, what other skills I should be learning? Yeah, all this we will emphasize, we will talk about it. Okay, so with respect, we are restricting ourselves with the respect to the career or with respect to Fatma's session today. The rest of the questions you'll be answered as we move along with the induction program.
I think I can help with that, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Many people, I know that I'm currently working with, we need a lot of, in suppose in these times, like everyone is working remotely. So there is a lot of lacking as to how to manage things and how to use the tools which are at hand. So what tools basically everyone has access to. So you have, Word, Google Word, then there are Google Sheets and everything. You need to have you need to have lot of knowledge and in and out information how to use the tools that you have. Just because you have a certificate or anything, it is not going to be helpful. So if you are using, suppose, PPT for your presentation, so try to learn the maximum things which you can, explore yourself with. So because in future when you are giving a presentation or you're preparing a sheet or something, so you will be well equipped with that. So that is must thing. And you must also, equip yourself with etiquettes as to, what are the etiquettes to approach someone. And if you are working remotely, so what is a good time to talk to someone and how to go ahead, and you cannot be just messaging or emailing in the midnight. So what are, so respecting timelines and everything, I think that is a habitual thing that you will have to learn, like
Yeah,
that is.
that is very important
Yeah,
in today's world, because people have all the time in their hand. Okay, and they do according to their convenience, not taking into account the convenience or the time preference for the person whom they are messaging or whom they want to call up. So as Fatima rightly said, it is very important that you maintain an etiquette, okay, which also we'll be talking about what is expected. So there are certain things, certain do's and don'ts which you have to follow. Since we are on this virtual platform, you cannot just get up at in the middle of the night and तुमको लगा करके तुमने मैसेज किया, ऐसा नहीं होता है.
correct. Because recently one of the IT person had to be fired from my organization because the person wasn't available in the time we required, and he used to be available otherwise. So that was not feasible with us, even though he had all the knowledge and everything, but we could not keep up with him.
Is it feasible to take up a small side job? We will mention all these. Okay, so this will come up shortly. So just wait. All these questions will be answered in due course of time. So anything regarding Fatima's topic or with respect to career that she has spoken?
I think they need time to.
Yeah. They're very raw.
Yeah.
So they'll need that molding. 1 second. Huh?
So I would like to share, like, in coming years, if anyone wants to talk anything to me for cancer related any field or any job or what has to be taken, you can find me on LinkedIn and drop a message. I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, so I think I can now call upon Saleha ma'am to formally thank our dear student Fatima, as per the protocol, that is.
Okay, good morning, one and all present here. This is Salia Khan from Biotechnology Department. And on the behalf of college as well as department, I would like to show our gratitude to our very precious alumna, Fatma Islahi, who has been always generous enough to accept our invitation whenever we approach her. So thank you, Fatma, for such a detailed presentation and for such lucid, informative session. I hope this session will help our students to understand different prospects of biotechnology field. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your experience. And it was so good to see you after such a long time.
Same here, ma'am. Same here. And I think we have launched our website, our department. So
Yeah.
congratulations to everyone for that. That
Thank you
was
so
really
much.
nice to see.
Can we have videos? Can the students put on the videos for a few minutes so that we can have a screenshot with our today's guest? I know you were not informed that you'll have to put up your videos and you might not be ready with it. Nevertheless, it's okay. At least we'll get to see you.
I think the screen sharing has to be stopped.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah, good.
Ma'am, screenshot is done.
Done. Okay. Thank you, Fatima, once again for spending this morning. We had a lovely time
Same here, ma'am.
for